Captain Hyun-woo stared out at the endless black of space through the bridge window of the Aurora's edge. Stars dotted the darkness like tiny diamonds scattered on black cloth. He had been making this same route for 3 years now, carrying medical supplies to the outer colonies where people needed help the most. The ship looked old and tired from the outside. Its hull showed scratches and dents from years of service. The paint was faded in places where cosmic dust had worn it away. Inside, everything worked fine, but it all looked basic and simple. Most people who saw the Aurora's edge would think it was just another cargo ship trying to make an honest living in the dangerous parts of space. Hyun-woo liked it that way. Pirates and raiders usually left old cargo ships alone. There were easier targets out there, ships that looked like they carried more valuable things. The medical supplies he transported were important, but they were not worth much money to criminals. This made his job safer, or so he thought. The bridge was quiet, except for the soft hum of the engines. His small crew was going about their daily work. Engineer Soo-jin was down in the engine room, making sure everything ran smoothly. Communications officer Dong-min sat at his station, listening to the radio chatter from nearby systems. Dr. Yu-na was in the medical bay, checking on the supplies they were carrying. Security Chief Jae-ho was doing his rounds through the ship. Navigator Bo-ram was studying star charts, planning their next jump. It was a normal day in space, the kind Hyun-woo had lived through hundreds of times before. He had no idea that today would be different. He had no idea that somewhere out there, alien eyes were watching his ship. War Commander Thailand of the Vrak Empire stretched his powerful arms and smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. His reptilian skin was dark green with black stripes that marked him as a high-ranking warrior. He stood on the bridge of his warship, the Blood Talon, and looked at the display screen that showed a small human ship moving slowly through space. "What do we know about this species?" Thalen asked his second-in-command, a smaller Vrak named Korvex. "The humans? Not much, War Commander. They appeared in this part of space only recently. Their ships look weak. Their technology seems old. We have heard they avoid fights when possible." Thalen nodded. The Vrak had been the strongest warriors in this section of space for over 200 years. They had conquered or destroyed dozens of alien species. Most other races either served the Vrak Empire or stayed far away from Vrak hunting grounds. "How many ships are with this one?" Thalen asked. "None, War Commander. It travels alone. Our sensors show it carries cargo, not weapons. It should be an easy target." Thalen looked at the 2 other Vrak ships that traveled with his pack. The Void Ripper and the Star Render were both destroyer-class warships, just like his own blood, Talon. Each ship carried a crew of 50 Vrak warriors, all hungry for battle and glory. The crew? Thalen wanted to know everything before he attacked. "Small, War Commander. Maybe 6 or 7 humans. The ship sends no escort requests, no distress calls. It acts like it does not know we are here." This made Thalen even more confident. A species that sent valuable cargo ships alone through dangerous space was either very stupid or very weak. Maybe both. The Vrak had been looking for new races to conquer or new sources of wealth. This human ship might provide both. "What is their destination?" Thalen asked. "The outer colonies, War Commander. They appear to be carrying medical supplies." Thalen laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. "Medical supplies? They risk their lives to help the sick and weak? These humans are even softer than we thought." The Vrak believed that strength was the only thing that mattered in the universe. The strong took what they wanted from the weak. The weak served the strong or died. Any species that wasted resources helping the sick and injured was clearly inferior. "Shall we attack, War Commander?" Korvex asked, eager for action. Thalen thought for a moment. His orders from the Vrak High Command were to find new territory and new slaves for the Empire. He was also supposed to test the strength of any new species he found. This human ship would be perfect for both tasks. "Signal the pack," Thalen ordered. "We move to intercept. Full attack formation." The 3 Vrak warships changed course and headed straight for the Aurora's edge. Their powerful engines pushed them forward at high speed. Each ship was armed with plasma cannons, missile launchers, and boarding equipment. They had shields that could stop most weapons and armor that could survive direct hits from enemy fire. Thalen watched the human ship on his screen. It continued on its course, moving slowly and peacefully through space. It showed no sign that it knew death was coming. For it. Time to intercept? Thalen asked. 12 minutes, War Commander. Excellent. Prepare the boarding parties. I want prisoners to question. We need to learn about human weaknesses before we attack their colonies. Around the bridge, Vrak warriors began checking their weapons and armor. They were excited about the coming battle. It had been too long since they had found new prey. The humans would provide entertainment and information. Thalen smiled again. In a few minutes, the humans would learn what happened when they entered Vrak territory. They would learn that carrying medical supplies and helping the weak would not protect them from the strong. They would learn that the universe belonged to warriors like the Vrak. The War Commander had fought in dozens of battles against many different alien species. He had never lost a fight. He had never met an enemy that could match Vrak's strength and courage. He was sure these humans would be just another easy victory to add to his long list of conquests. As the 3 Vrak ships moved closer to their target, Thalen began planning what he would do with the human prisoners. First, he would learn about their military capabilities. Then, he would discover the locations of their colonies and supply lines. Finally, he would present this information to the High Command and receive praise for finding a new species to conquer. The Aurora's Edge continued on its peaceful journey, unaware that its crew had only minutes left before their lives changed forever. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo across the galaxy and teach the Vrak Empire a lesson they would never forget. Engineer Sujin was deep in the engine room when the first alarm sounded. She looked up from the power coupling she was adjusting and frowned. The sound was not one of the usual maintenance alerts she heard every day. This was different. This was the proximity warning. Sujin quickly made her way to the nearest communication panel and pressed the button to contact the bridge. Captain, this is Sujin. What's happening up there? 3 ships approaching fast, came Hyunwoo's calm voice through the speaker. Unknown configuration. Could be trouble. Sujin felt her stomach tighten. She had been working on cargo ships for 8 years, and she knew that 3 unknown ships usually meant pirates or worse. She began running through her mental checklist of emergency procedures. On the bridge, Communications Officer Dongmin was already working at his station. His fingers moved quickly over the controls as he tried to identify the approaching ships. The computer was analyzing their design and comparing it to known spacecraft in the database. Captain, Dongmin said, looking up from his screen. The computer doesn't recognize these ships. They're not in any of our databases. The design is completely alien. Captain Hyunwoo moved to stand behind Dongmin's chair. On the main screen, 3 dark shapes were growing larger as they approached. The ships had an angular, aggressive look that reminded him of predators moving in for a kill. How long until they reach us? Hyunwoo asked. Navigator Boram checked her instruments. At their current speed, about 8 minutes, Captain. Are they responding to our standard identification signals? Dongmin shook his head. Nothing, Captain. I've tried all the standard frequencies. They're not answering any of our calls. Dr. Yuna arrived on the bridge, having heard the proximity alarm from the medical bay. She was carrying a data pad with information about the medical supplies they were transporting. Captain, if these are pirates, they should know that medical supplies aren't very valuable. Maybe we can negotiate. Hyunwoo appreciated her optimism, but something about these approaching ships made him nervous. They were moving with purpose, not like random pirates looking for easy targets. This felt more organized, more military. Keep trying to contact them, Dongmin. Use every frequency we have. Maybe they just don't understand our communication methods. Dongmin worked harder, switching between different radio bands and transmission types. He tried everything from basic mathematical sequences to universal peace symbols. Nothing worked. The alien ships continued their approach in complete silence. Security Chief Jae-ho stepped onto the bridge. He was a big man with calm eyes and steady hands. He had served in the Merchant Marine for 15 years and had dealt with pirates before. Captain, I don't like this. Ships that don't answer calls usually have bad intentions. I agree, Hyunwoo said. What are our options? Boram studied her navigation display. We could try to run, but they're faster than us. At best, we might reach the edge of the system before they catch up. Weapons? Jae-ho asked, though he already knew the answer. This is a cargo ship, Hyunwoo reminded him. We have basic defensive systems, nothing more. Dr. Yuna was studying the alien ships on the main screen. As the ship's medical officer, she also had training in xenobiology, the study of alien life forms. Something about the design of these ships was familiar. Captain, she said slowly, I think I know what these are. Everyone on the bridge turned to look at her. The angular design, the way they're moving in formation, the complete radio silence. I think these might be Vrak ships. The name sent a chill through the bridge. Everyone had heard stories about the Vrak Empire. They were a warrior species that had conquered dozens of other alien races. They were known for being aggressive, ruthless, and completely without mercy. You sure? Hyunwoo asked. Not completely, but the design matches descriptions from intelligence reports. The Vrak are a reptilian species that value strength above everything else. They attack first and ask questions later. Dongmin looked up from his communication station. Captain, I'm getting something. It's not on any standard frequency, but I think it's a message. Put it through the speakers. A harsh alien voice filled the bridge. The words were translated by the ship's computer, but the tone was clear even without translation. Human vessel, you have entered Vrak territory. Surrender, immediately or be destroyed. Prepare for boarding. The bridge was silent for a moment. Then Hyunwoo spoke. Dongmin, open a channel, all frequencies. Channel open, Captain. Hyunwoo took a deep breath. This is Captain Hyunwoo of the Aurora's Edge. We are a peaceful cargo vessel carrying medical supplies to outer colonies. We have no weapons and pose no threat. We request safe passage through your space. The response came quickly. Human Captain, your surrender request is noted. However, surrender is not acceptable. You will be boarded and your cargo seized. Your crew will be taken prisoner for questioning. Resistance will result in destruction. Dr. Yuna stepped forward. Captain, let me try. I've studied Vrak culture. They respect directness and strength. Hyunwoo nodded and gestured for her to take the communication station. Vrak commanders, Dr. Yuna said in a strong, clear voice. We are carrying medical supplies to help sick and injured colonists. These supplies will save lives. Surely warriors as noble as the Vrak would not prevent aid from reaching those who need it. There was a pause. Then harsh laughter came through the speakers. Human female, your words prove your species' weakness. Only the weak need medical aid. Only the weak waste resources on the sick and injured. You confirm that humans are not worthy opponents. The communication ended with a sharp click. Captain Hyunwoo looked around the bridge at his crew. Soo-jin had arrived from the engine room and was standing near the back. Everyone was looking at him, waiting for orders. Captain, Jae-ho said quietly. What are your orders? Hyunwoo was quiet for a long moment. He thought about the medical supplies in his cargo hold. He thought about the sick children in the outer colonies who were waiting for those supplies. He thought about his crew, good people who had families, waiting for them at home. Then he thought about something else. He thought about the secret orders sealed in his personal safe. Orders that he hoped he would never have to open. Orders that would change everything if he used them. Time until they reach us, he asked. 4 minutes, Boram replied. Hyunwoo made his decision. Jae-ho, go to my quarters. In the safe, you'll find a red envelope marked Protocol 7. Bring it here immediately. Protocol 7? Dr. Yuna asked. I've never heard of that. Neither have I, Jae-ho said, but he was already moving toward the door. What's Protocol 7, Captain? Soo-jin asked. Hyunwoo was still looking at the approaching alien ships on the main screen. It's something I hoped we'd never need, he said quietly. It's what happens when someone makes the mistake of threatening a human ship that's just trying to deliver medical supplies to sick children. Security Chief Jae-ho returned to the bridge carrying a red envelope marked with official seals. His face was serious as he handed it to Captain Hyunwoo. The envelope felt heavier than it should have, as if it contained more than just paper. 2 minutes until the wreck ships reach us, Navigator Boram announced, her voice tight with tension. Captain Hyunwoo broke the seals and opened the envelope. Inside were several documents and a small electronic device. He read the first page quickly, his expression changing from concern to something much more serious. "Captain," Dr. Yuna asked, "what does it say?" Hyunwoo looked up at his crew. These people had worked with him for years. They trusted him completely. Now he had to tell them something that would change how they saw everything. "The Aurora's Edge is not really a cargo ship," he said quietly. "It's a Terran Defense Force stealth cruiser called the Retribution. We've been operating under deep cover for 3 years." The bridge was completely silent. Everyone stared at their captain in shock. "What?" Sujin whispered. "Our mission was to establish trade routes and gather intelligence on alien species in this sector. The medical supplies are real, and our deliveries help real people. But the ship itself..." Hyunwoo paused. "The ship is a military vessel designed to handle exactly this kind of situation." Communications Officer Dongmin found his voice first. "You mean we're not really cargo runners?" "You are," Hyunwoo said. "Your backgrounds are all real. Your skills are genuine. You were recruited because you're the best at what you do. But you were also recruited because the Defense Force knew that someday someone might test humanity's resolve." Jae-ho was beginning to understand. "The wreck just did that." "Yes. And now they're about to learn what happens when you threaten humans who are trying to help others." Hyunwoo pressed a button on the electronic device from the envelope. Immediately, the ship's computer began speaking in a calm, official voice. "Protocol 7 activated. Authorization confirmed. Beginning combat system activation. All crew members prepare for military operations." The bridge suddenly came alive with new sounds. Hidden panels slid open in the walls, revealing additional control stations and displays. The soft lighting changed to the red glow of combat readiness. New screens appeared showing weapon systems, shield generators, and tactical displays. Sujin watched in amazement as her engine room displays completely changed. Instead of showing the simple cargo ship system she knew, they now revealed the EAEI's true power of their vessel. The Aurora's Edge had been hiding fusion reactors that could power a small city. The engines she thought were old and basic were actually advanced military drives capable of incredible speed. 1 minute to intercept, Boram called out. But now her navigation station showed targeting computers and evasive maneuver programs. Oh, new crew member stepped onto the bridge, someone none of them had ever seen before. He was a tall man with short black hair and the bearing of a career military officer. "Captain," he said with a sharp salute. "Weapons Officer Min-ho reporting for duty." Hyunwoo returned the salute. "Good to see you, Min-ho. Status report." "All weapon systems are online and ready, sir. Quantum torpedo tubes loaded. Plasma cannon arrays charged. Defensive systems at full power." Dr. Yuna was still trying to process what was happening. "There was someone else on the ship this whole time?" "Min-ho has been in suspended animation in a hidden compartment," Hyunwoo explained, "along with Chief Tactical Officer Hae-won, who should be..." Another hidden door opened, and a woman in military uniform stepped onto the bridge. "Chief Tactical Officer Hae-won reporting, Captain. All systems show green. We are ready for combat." Thusar. Main screen now showed the approaching wreck ships in perfect detail. Advanced sensors revealed their weapon loadouts, shield strength, and crew numbers. The computer was already calculating the best attack strategies. 30 seconds, Boram announced. Captain Hyunwoo stood up straighter. When he spoke again, his voice carried the authority of a military commander. "All hands, this is the captain. For 3 years we have served as peaceful traders and medical supply runners. Today that mission continues, but we must also fulfill our other duty. We are about to show these aliens that humanity protects those who cannot protect themselves." He turned to his crew. "Sujin, give me full power to all systems. Dongmin, open a channel to the wreck ships. Dr. Yuna, prepare the medical bay for possible casualties. Jae-ho, coordinate with Hae-won on boarding preparations." "Boarding preparations?" Jae-ho asked. "If we're going to send a message, it needs to be complete. Min-ho, target the lead ship's weapon systems." Disable, don't destroy. We want survivors to tell others what happened here. On the Vrak ship Blood Talon, War Commander Thalen was preparing for an easy victory. His warriors were ready to board the human cargo ship. He expected the humans to surrender without a fight like most of the weak species he had encountered. 5 seconds to weapons range, his second-in-command reported. Excellent. Target their engines first. We want the ship intact for... Thalen never finished his sentence. On his main screen, the human cargo ship was changing. Sections of the hull were sliding away, revealing hidden weapon ports. The ship that had looked old and harmless was transforming into something completely different. What is that? Thalen whispered. Before anyone could answer, the human ship opened fire. Quantum torpedoes, weapons that Thalen had never seen before, streaked across space toward his fleet. The torpedoes moved faster than anything the Vrak had ever encountered, and when they hit, they tore through the Blood Talon's shields like they were made of paper. The Vrak ship shook violently. Warning. Lights flashed on every panel. Half of Thalen's weapon systems went offline in the first attack. Return fire, Thalen roared. The Blood Talon's remaining weapons fired at the human ship, but the shot struck some kind of adaptive armor that seemed to absorb the energy and deflect it harmlessly away. On the bridge of the Retribution, Captain Hyun-woo watched, the tactical display with calm efficiency. Minho, target the second ship. Haewon, prepare boarding shuttles. Sir, Minho reported, the lead ship is badly damaged, but still operational. Should I finish it? Negative. Target their life support and communication systems. I want them alive but unable to call for help. The battle was completely one-sided. The Vrak had never encountered human military technology. Their weapons couldn't penetrate human shields. Their tactics couldn't match human strategic thinking. In less than 5 minutes, 2 of their 3 ships were crippled, and the third was trying to retreat. War Commander Thalen stared at his ruined bridge in complete shock. Half his crew was unconscious. Most of his ship's systems were destroyed. The humans had defeated his entire pack without losing a single crew member, and now they were hailing him on the communication system. Vrak Commander, came Captain Hyun-woo's voice. This is Captain Hyun-woo of the Terran Defense Force vessel Retribution. Do you wish to surrender? War Commander Thalen could barely speak. His proud warship, the Blood Talon, was dying around him. Sparks flew from damaged control panels. The air smelled of burning electronics and fear. Half his warriors lay unconscious on the deck, victims of the human weapons that had torn through their defenses like they were nothing. Thalen started to say, but his voice failed him. On the bridge of the Retribution, Captain Hyun-woo waited patiently for an answer. Around him, his crew worked with calm efficiency. The transformation from peaceful cargo runners to military professionals was complete. Even Dr. Yuna and Soo-jin moved with the precision of trained officers. Captain, Chief Tactical Officer, Haewon reported, the second Vrak ship, the Void Ripper, is trying to restore power to their weapon systems. Minho, disable their reactor core. Non-lethal force. Understood, Captain. The Retribution's plasma cannons swiveled toward the Void Ripper. Instead of the massive destructive beams the Vrak expected, precise surgical strikes hit specific targets on the alien ship. The reactor went offline safely, leaving the crew alive but powerless. Security Chief Jae-ho stepped forward. Captain, requesting permission to lead a boarding party to the Blood Talon. Hyun-woo nodded. Granted. Take a medical team with you. Show them what human warriors are capable of, but also show them human mercy. Jae-ho had changed into military combat armor that had been hidden in the ship's storage areas. The armor was black with silver trim and looked far more advanced than anything the Vrak had ever seen. He moved toward the shuttle bay with 5 other crew members who had also revealed themselves to be military specialists. Dr. Yuna watched them go, then turned to Captain Hyun-woo. Captain, I'd like to go with them. As a medical officer, I can help treat wounded Vrak. Are you sure, Doctor? This could be dangerous. These aliens need to understand that humans help even their enemies when they're hurt. That might be more important than any weapon we have. Hyun-woo smiled. Approved. Take whatever medical supplies you need. On the Blood Talon, War Commander Thalon was trying to understand what had happened to his fleet. The third ship, the Star Render, was retreating at maximum speed. His own ship was crippled. The Void Ripper was dead in space. And somehow, the humans had done all of this without killing a single Vrak warrior. War Commander, his communications officer called out weakly. The humans are requesting permission to board. Requesting permission? Thalon repeated. In his experience, victorious warriors simply took what they wanted. They didn't ask for permission from the defeated. They say, they want to provide medical assistance to our wounded. Thalon's mind couldn't process this information. The humans had just destroyed his entire hunting pack, and now they wanted to help his injured warriors? It made no sense according to everything he knew about warfare and conquest. Before he could decide what to do, his ship's sensors detected incoming shuttles, but instead of attack craft they appeared to be small transport vessels, and they were broadcasting medical emergency codes. The boarding party arrived in the Blood Talon's main hangar bay. Jeho led the way, his advanced armor making him look like something from a Vrak nightmare. Behind him came 5 other human warriors, all armed with weapons the Vrak had never seen before. But the last person off the shuttle surprised the Vrak guards completely. Dr. Yuna stepped out carrying medical supplies and wearing a uniform marked with clear medical symbols. I am Dr. Yuna, she announced in the Vrak language, which the ship's computer had taught her during the short shuttle flight. I am here to help your wounded. The Vrak guards didn't know what to do. Their training had never covered a situation where the enemy offered medical aid after winning a battle. Jeho moved with smooth efficiency through the Vrak ship. His armor's sensors showed him exactly where the wounded aliens were located. The human weapons had been designed to disable, rather than kill. But some Vrak had been injured when their own systems exploded from the precise strikes. This one has internal bleeding, Dr. Yuna said, kneeling beside a young Vrak warrior. I can stop it, but I need to work quickly. The wounded Vrak looked up at her with confusion and fear. He had never seen an alien species before, and certainly never expected one to try to save his life after defeating him in battle. Dr. Yuna worked with calm skill, using human medical technology to heal the Vrak's injuries. Around the ship, other members of the boarding party were doing the same thing, helping wounded aliens and making sure the ship's life support systems were stable. Meanwhile, Sujin was demonstrating another aspect of human ingenuity. She had accessed the Void Ripper's computer systems and was learning how Vrak technology worked. Within minutes, she understood their power systems well enough to begin making improvements. Captain, Sujin reported over the communication system. I can restore partial power to this ship. Their engineering is actually quite advanced, but they're not using it efficiently. Do it, Hyunwoo replied. But make sure they understand that we're helping them. Sujin began working on the alien ship systems. She bypassed damaged components and rerouted power through backup systems the Vrak engineers hadn't even known existed. Soon the Void Ripper had lights, air circulation, and communication systems working again. The Vrak crew watched in amazement as the human engineer fixed their ship better than their own technicians ever had. She worked with tools and techniques they had never seen before, solving problems in minutes that would have taken them hours. On the Blood Talon's bridge, War Commander Thalon was having a conversation that challenged everything he believed about warfare and strength. Your ship is badly damaged, Captain Hyunwoo was saying through the communication system, but your crew will live. We've repaired your life support and restored partial power. Why? Thalon asked. Why do you help us after defeating us? Because that's what humans do, Hyunwoo replied simply. We fight when we must, but we don't kill when we don't have to. Your warriors were brave. They deserve to live and learn from this experience. Thalon looked around his ruined bridge. Everything he had thought he knew about strength and warfare was being challenged. The humans had shown superior technology, better tactics, and overwhelming firepower. But they had also shown something the Vrak had never seen before: mercy toward defeated enemies. What do you want from us? Thalon asked. Nothing, Hyunwoo replied. We want to continue our journey and deliver medical supplies to people who need them. But we also want you to understand something important. What? Humans are not easy prey. We're peaceful when we can be, but we're very dangerous when we have to be. The next time someone in the Vrak Empire considers attacking a human ship, they should remember what happened here today. Through the Blood Talon's windows, Thalen could see Dr. Yuna and her team loading wounded Vrak warriors onto medical shuttles. They were taking the most seriously injured aliens back to the Retribution, where the human medical bay had better equipment to treat them. You're taking our warriors prisoner? Thalen asked. We're taking them to our medical facility so we can save their lives, Hyunwoo corrected. When they're healed, we'll return them to you. Thalen had been a warrior for 30 years. He had fought dozens of battles against many different species. He had never, in all that time, seen anything like what the humans were doing. They had completely defeated his fleet, but instead of taking slaves or demanding tribute, they were helping his wounded warriors and repairing his damaged ships. I don't understand your people, Thalen admitted. That's okay, Captain Hyunwoo replied. You don't have to understand us, you just have to remember us. 3 hours after the battle ended, the Retribution's medical bay was busy with activity. Dr. Yuna worked alongside her human medical team to treat 12 wounded Vrak warriors. The aliens lay on specially modified beds that could support their larger reptilian bodies. The one with the head injury is responding well, reported medical technician Hansol, one of the crew members who had been hidden during their cargo ship disguise. His brain scans show normal activity. Dr. Yuna nodded as she checked on a young Vrak with a broken arm. The alien looked up at her with golden eyes that showed confusion and something that might have been gratitude. Why do you help us? The young Vrak asked in broken standard language. Because you're hurt, Dr. Yuna replied simply. When someone is hurt, humans try to help. It doesn't matter if you were our enemy a few hours ago. The young Vrak, who had told them his name was Kelvar, stared at her. But we tried to kill you. We tried to take your ship. Yes, you did. And we stopped you. But now the fighting is over, and you need medical care. Kelvar was quiet for a long time thinking about this. In Vrak society, defeated enemies were either killed or enslaved. The idea of treating them as patients in a medical facility was completely foreign to him. On Or, the bridge Captain Hyunwoo was monitoring the repair efforts on the damaged Vrak ships. Engineer Sujin had transferred to the Void Ripper with a team of human technicians. They were working to restore the ship's main systems and make it safe to travel. Captain, Communications Officer Dongmin reported, I'm receiving a transmission from the retreating Vrak ship, the Star Render. Put it through. The main screen showed the bridge of the Star Render. The Vrak commander was different from Thalen, smaller and younger, with bright green scales instead of dark ones. Human captain, the alien said, I am Subcommander Drex of the Star Render. I request permission to return and retrieve my pack leader. Captain Hyunwoo studied the young Vrak officer. Subcommander, your pack leader is safe. His ship is being repaired and his wounded warriors are being treated in our medical facility. You're treating our wounded? Of course. What did you expect us to do? Drex was clearly struggling to understand. In our experience, victorious enemies either kill the defeated or take them as slaves. Humans do neither, Hyunwoo said firmly. Your pack leader attacked us while we were delivering medical supplies to sick colonists. We defended ourselves, but we're not interested in killing or enslaving anyone. Then what do you want? We want to complete our mission and deliver these medical supplies. We also want to make sure the Vrak Empire understands that humans are not easy targets. Drex looked around his own bridge, clearly thinking hard. War Commander Thalen is my mentor. He taught me everything I know about warfare and honor. If you've defeated him, your war commander fought bravely, Hyunwoo interrupted. His tactics were sound and his warriors showed courage. But you attacked us without understanding what you were facing. What were we facing? Drex asked. A species that values life above conquest. A species that fights only when necessary, but fights very effectively when we must. A species that shows mercy to defeated enemies because we believe strength includes compassion. Back on the Blood Talon, War Commander Thalen was walking through his ship and seeing things he had never noticed before. Human repair teams worked alongside his own engineers, sharing techniques and improving damaged systems. The humans worked with efficiency and skill, but they also worked with something else: kindness. He watched Engineer Su Jin explain to one of his technicians how to recalibrate a power coupling more effectively. She was patient and clear, treating the Vrak engineer as a colleague rather than a defeated enemy. Security Chief Jae-ho approached Thalen. The human warrior had removed his combat helmet, revealing a face that was both strong and gentle. "War Commander," Jae-ho said, "your ship will be ready to travel within 2 hours. We've repaired the critical systems and improved some others." "Why?" Thalen asked. It was a question he had been asking all day, but he still didn't understand the answer. "Because leaving you stranded in space would be wrong," Jae-ho replied. "You attacked us, yes. But you're not evil. You were just following your culture's understanding of strength." "And what is your culture's understanding of strength?" Jae-ho thought for a moment. "True strength protects those who cannot protect themselves. True strength shows mercy when possible. True strength builds rather than destroys." Thalen looked around his ship again. Everything the human had said was being demonstrated by the actions of his crew. They had completely defeated the Vrak pack, but instead of taking advantage of their victory, they were helping their former enemies. "Your species confuses me," Thalen admitted. "That's understandable," Jae-ho replied with a smile. "We probably confuse ourselves sometimes too." 4 hours after the battle, the repairs were complete. The wounded Vrak warriors had been healed and returned to their ships. The Void Ripper and Blood Talon were both capable of safe travel, though they would need more extensive repairs when they reached a proper shipyard. On the bridge of the Retribution, Captain Hyun-woo prepared for the final communication with War Commander Thalen. "War Commander," he said when the connection was established, "your ships are repaired and your crew is safe. You're free to return to Vrak space." Thalen appeared on the main screen. The proud Vrak warrior looked different now. Older, perhaps, and definitely more thoughtful. "Captain Hyun-woo," Thalen said formally, "I must ask you something." "Go ahead." "If we had defeated you today, what would you have expected us to do?" Hyun-woo considered the question. "Honestly, I would have expected you to kill us or enslave. That's what our intelligence report suggested about Vrak culture. And yet you chose differently." "Yes." "Why?" "Because we had a choice," Hyun-woo said simply. "Power without restraint isn't strength, it's just destruction. Anyone can destroy. It takes real strength to choose mercy." Thalen was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice carried a weight that hadn't been there before. "Captain, I have been a warrior for 30 years. I have conquered many worlds and defeated many enemies. Today I learned that I have never truly understood what it means to be strong." "What will you do now?" Hyun-woo asked. "I will return to Vrak space and make a report to the High Command. I will tell them that the humans are not a weak species, to be conquered. I will tell them that your people fight like demons when threatened but show mercy like something we have no word for in our language. What about your mission? Your orders to find new territory and slaves?" Thalen's expression hardened, but not with anger, with determination. "My mission has changed. I will recommend that the Vrak Empire seek alliance with humanity, not conquest. Your people have shown us a different kind of strength, one that we need to learn." Captain Hyun-woo nodded with respect. "Safe travels, War Commander. I hope our species can be friends rather than enemies." "As do I, Captain. As do I." The communication ended. On the bridge of the Retribution, the crew watched as the 2 Vrak ships slowly moved away, heading back toward their own territory. "Think they learned anything?" asked Chief Tactical Officer Hae-won. "I think they learned everything," Dr. Yuna replied. "The question is whether they'll be able to teach it to others." Captain Hyun-woo stood and looked out at the stars. Somewhere, out there, sick colonists were waiting for the medical supplies in his cargo hold. It was time to complete their mission. Bo-ram set course for the outer colonies, We have a delivery to make. Course laid in, Captain. Sujin, back to normal operations. Understood, Captain. Switching to cargo configuration. As the Retribution resumed its journey, hidden weapon ports closed and the ship once again looked like a simple cargo vessel. But something had changed. Word would spread throughout this sector of space about the humans who fought like warriors but healed like healers, who showed strength through mercy and power through restraint. The galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again.